All of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the snippets. The very first one, Teen Titans. India regains Under 19 World Cup. Suryavanshi's blistering knock of 175 sets up a thumping 100-run win against England. So many words to learn from one snippet. Here, the very first word, teen. What is there to learn based on this? Usually we talk about teenage. So what exactly does it mean? Teenage, 13 to 19, we say teenage. And we also use the word adolescence, adolescence, that period. Hormonal changes take place. And when it comes to crime, there's one particular concept called juvenile delinquency. Juvenile means, that's an important word, young people, adolescents, usually teenage, juvenile. They commit crime that is known as juvenile delinquency. That is also an important word. Rock solid performance. Titans. In any field, great people, we use the word titans. India regains means get back. Regain means what? Get back. Regain confidence, regain the spirit, regain the title. And who is courtesy? This young player, you all know, blistering knock of 175. Huge. Here, blistering means something like outstanding, quite impressive. A thumping 100-run win. The word thumping usually goes with elections. Someone gets huge majority, we say thumping majority. We also use the expression landslide victory. Here, the word thumping. 100-run win against England. I'm sure all of you know about this youngster. He is going to break many records sooner or later, 5 years down the line. Next snippet, Policy Watch. RBI holds repo rate at 5.25%, stays neutral. All simple words, but important article you have to read, especially those who are preparing for bank exams. This is an important article. Coming to the next one, shocking turn. Shocking, something shocks you. Shocking turn. You should also think of U-turn. What is the meaning of U-turn? Take a U-turn means what? Complete opposite. 360 degrees turn, U-turn. A panchayat dream and a child's murder. How a daughter was sacrificed for power. Some people believe in this. They believe if they sacrifice a human being to some god or goddess, they get their wishes come true. This talks about some particular panchayat, some village, a panchayat's dream and a child's murder. Someone wanted to get power and believing that human sacrifice would get or fetch the power, sacrifice a daughter. How a daughter was sacrificed for power. Very shocking. The next one, today's editorial is about this. Meghalaya coal mine explosion. Rescue operations continue to held. It's all about, today's editorial is about that. And surprisingly, today's editorial we have about 28 words. 25 plus from one editorial. So many words to learn. Rescue operations. Whenever there's a natural disaster, you see rescue teams going there trying to help the victims. What is the main headline? Oil imports from Russia hit 38-month low. Means slowly India stopped buying oil from Russia. Reading between the lines, that's what it means. Otherwise, nothing to learn. Other snippets, US calls for new nuclear pact with Russia and China. Calls for, demand. The situation calls for. What does it mean? The situation demands. New nuclear pact. Pact means something like contract, agreement with Russia and China. Up under fire in Punjab as leader is shot and killed. Someone is under fire means being criticized publicly. Under fire, being scolded, being reprimanded. You have to think of words like reprimand, admonish, scold, chide, all these words. Modi succumbed to US pressure, says Congress. There's one important word, succumb. Usually the word succumb goes with injuries. Whenever imagine someone met with an accident. Initially it tries to resist, but the body cannot after a particular point, then the person may die. Then we say he succumbed to injuries. Means he could not take those injuries, he passed away. An important word. Here you have to think of the word yield. The word yield can be positive, can be negative. Yield as a positive word, it means crop. It goes with agriculture, crop, it means produce. But yield also a negative word. As a negative word, it means surrender. When it comes to surrender, we use one phrasal verb. What is that? Give in. Give in means to surrender. Coming to the next one, deep technology startup officially defined by center. Simple words. Narrow escape. You can see a bus in flames, full of smoke. A private sleeper bus caught fire following an accident near Nelamangala on the northern fringes of Bangalore. Fringe means a border. Northern borders of Bangalore late on Thursday night. All passengers and crew are safe, luckily. That's why narrow escape. FIR against filmmakers over title of new movie. FIR, you should become alert. Tell me why. Though the first letter is a consonantal letter, it has a vowel sound. Based on that, we say an FIR, not a FIR. And all other examples you guys know, I don't have to repeat. Next one, at least 31 killed in suicide blast at Shia Mosque in Pakistan. There was a suicide blast in Pakistan, and how many people got killed? 31 killed, at least 31. Big number. Coming to the next headline, 120 million US dollars pledged to Chabahar port fully paid. Government. It's about how much money went there, simple words, but pledge. Pledge has two or three meanings. One of the meanings, when it comes to gold, you pledge your gold. Another meaning goes with taking oath. We use this word. That's all from the front page of today's Hindu paper. Let us go to the editorial. As I said, today's editorial is all about rat hole mines in Meghalaya, and recently there was a blast. 18 people got killed, and about that particular incident. That is a stimulus. Based on that, the editorial. Any editorial that deals with illegal mining usually covers the incident, starts with the incident. What happened, where it happened, when it happened, how it happened, who got affected, and initially. Then about illegal mining in that particular region, what is the law, how is it being implemented, and how to think of the solutions, all these dimensions. But this editorial has about 28 words, not one or two, 28. Let us see the words. The very first one, distress. Part of speech, noun or verb. Extreme pain, sorrow, danger or difficulty to cause anxiety or suffering. Imagine someone is in a state of anxiety, a state of suffering, then we say he is in distress. This word became quite popular, came into the limelight at the time of COVID-19. All the papers would use a combination, distress of migrant workers. Because they lost their livelihood, they got stranded because of the lockdown, they would use the word distressed migrant workers, an important word. A rat hole mine. As I said, today's editorial is all about rat hole mining, which is illegal in Meghalaya state. Part of speech noun, a narrow illegal coal mine with small tunnels, often dug manually and highly unsafe. Manual work mining definitely unsafe. Grim, part of speech, adjective, serious, depressing, or alarming in nature. Grim is a negative word, serious, depressing, alarming. Distinct, part of speech, adjective, clearly different or separate, easily noticeable. You can also think of unique, distinct, but when it comes to academics, we use the word distinction. He has passed with a distinction, means very good percentage, 70 plus ones. Coal seam. There is a new word like a compound noun. Noun. A natural layer or stratum of coal embedded between rock layers. Between the rock layers, you have the coal layer, and that is known as coal seam. But there is one important word here, stratum. Stratum means layer. It's a noun that belongs to either Latin or Greek. And what is the plural of stratum? Strata. Strata. That is very important. Like criterion, phenomenon, stratum, datum, data, stratum, strata. Launder, I'm sure many of you know it goes with what? Money laundering. You make money illegally and you try to convert that into legal money through certain channels. That is nothing but money laundering. Part of speech verb, to make something illegal appear legal by concealing its true origin. You try to hide the true illegal origin and you try to convert that into legal. That is called money laundering. Prone, adjective, likely or susceptible to something undesirable. Usually it goes with a negative thing, prone to disease, prone to exploitation, prone to earthquakes. Norm, we have got many a time, part of speech noun, a standard or usual practice or condition. Practice as a noun, TICE, practice as a verb, TISE. That you got to be careful. Norms of the organization, norms of the society. What does it mean? Standards of the society. Cessation, an important word, part of speech noun, the act of stopping or bringing something to an end. You bring something to an end, then you should use the word cessation. Tribunal, part of speech noun, a court or judicial body, usually a judicial body, set up to adjudicate, an important word. Adjudicate means to judge. Adjudicate on specific matters. Some body, legal body deals with environment, then we use the expression green tribunal. Fragmented. We have got the word fragment many a time. Fragment means a small piece. It can be a noun, it can be a verb. Broken into parts, lacking unity or coordination. Fragmented, broken into parts. Patronage. We also use, imagine there's a person who supports an organization. We call that person patron. The act is called patronage. Part of speech noun, support or protection given by powerful individuals, often for personal gains or personal gain. Need not be all the time. It could be philanthropic act also. Imagine there's a rich man, there's an industrialist, and supports a particular orphanage. He provides the funds to the orphanage. Then the people of orphanage say, he is our patron. Patronage, an important word. Coming to the next, degraded, part of speech adjective, reduced in quality, condition, or value. Generally, it goes with, it is a negative word, degraded standards, degrading quality. Degrade also means something like insult someone. Someone has been degraded. Legacy or no, part of speech noun, something handed down from the past, especially problems or assets. From one generation to another generation, something gets passed on. We call that legacy. Mandatory, many of you know, mandatory means what? Compulsory. Part of speech adjective, simple word compulsory, required by law or rules. Validate is a positive word, invalidate negative word. Part of speech verb, to make something legally or officially unacceptable or void. Here you have to think of one important idiom. What is it? Null and void. Make something null and void means ineffective. It won't be effective. Then it has been made null and void. Consignment. This goes with business. Imagine there is a company, the company manufactures watches. I have placed an order for 100 watches. For that order, we use the word consignment. I haven't received 100 watches, then I may write a letter. What happened to the consignment? It goes with business context. Part of speech noun. A batch of goods transported or delivered together. Consignment of 100 watches. Patrol. Part of speech noun, it can be a verb. The act of monitoring or guarding an area to move around for surveillance. Usually soldiers along the borders, they go in for surveillance. That is known as patrolling. Important word. Careful with patrol. Penalties means what? Punishment. Noun. Punishments or legal consequences imposed for violations. Seize means to take something using force. From that word we get seizure. Part of speech noun, the act of taking possession of property by legal authority. Sans, an important word. Sans means without. Sans punctuation means what? Without punctuation. Yes, that is the right combination. Srinu. Preposition, sans, without. Dismantle goes with a gadget, goes with a structure, anything for that matter. Part of speech verb, to break down or destroy systematically. Dismantle something. Amnesty, part of speech noun, official pardon granted to offenders, often in exchange for cooperation. Simple word, excuse, pardon, amnesty. Amnesty, a formal word. Aggressive, part of speech adjective, forceful, assertive, or determined in action. But generally we use aggressive means one of the meanings ready to attack. For that we also use the word ferocious. Imagine there's a dog always ready to attack. Aggressive dog and also ferocious dog. People also can be aggressive. The last four words, pursue. Pursue your dreams. Pursue your ambition. Part of speech verb, to follow or seek to achieve, prosecute, or take legal action against. Errant. Remember the word error. Related, errant. What does it mean? Part of speech adjective. Deviating from accepted standards, guilty of wrongdoing. It's a negative word, something to do with an error, mistake, deviation. Subvert, an important word, part of speech verb, to undermine or weaken authority or systems secretly or indirectly. You try to do that indirectly or secretly, then undermine or weaken, subversion, subvert. Hotspot, part of speech noun, an area with a high concentration of activity, a risk or problems. Usually this goes with environment. We use the expression biodiversity hotspot. Have you heard of this combination anytime? Biodiversity hotspots. See, we have got 28 words. Let us go to the editorial. Distressing regularity. Distress, state of anxiety, suffering. Distressing regularity. What should you understand? Some negative thing has been going on. has happened many a time. Now it has become a regular feature, distressing regularity, but related to what? On Meghalaya's rat hole mines. What is the main idea? Illegal mining should become should already we have got many a time two functions. One to advise or suggest someone, the other possibility chances are less. Here advise or suggest. Writer's opinion. Illegal mining should become socially expensive. When it becomes socially expensive, people don't try to take it up because of expenditure. Second dimension, and operationally prohibitive. They have to be stopped. Illegal mining. Two dimensions the editorial talks about. One, socially expensive. Second, operationally prohibitive. As I said, this is all about an explosion in a mine in Meghalaya. And obviously, it has to start with what happened, when it happened, where it happened, how many people got killed. The explosion in an illegal rat hole mine in Meghalaya on February 5th, killing at least 18 workers, is a grim reminder, an important phrase you have to remember. Grim, serious reminder that court supervision cannot substitute governance. Court supervisors, that is not a solution. Governance is a must. Based on that, court supervision cannot substitute governance. Illegal coal mining in India is a long running problem. Now, a general statement across the country, this illegal mining about that, and the writer says illegal mining in India is a long running problem. Long existing, long running. Then you should think of the word chronic. Some disease exists for a long time. What is the word we use? Chronic disease, chronic issue, chronic problem. But usually it goes with diseases. But the Northeast, especially Meghalaya's coal belt, has a distinct ecosystem. Distinct, different, standing out, unique. What is that? Of small privately or community owned land holdings, thin coal seams, thin coal layers or strata, weak local enforcement, and supply chains. All these are unique to the coal belt or whatever Meghalaya has that can launder illegal coal into legitimate markets through intermediaries. Launder is a negative word. Money laundering, you all know. Rat hole mining is a norm. Norm means what? Standard for illegal setups, and they are prone to collapsing, susceptible to collapsing because they are not professionally managed. Why? Because they lack engineered roofs and sidewall protections. Any mine should have engineered roofs. Engineered has two meanings. One, it goes with engineers. The other one, designed specifically. And sidewall protections. The National Green Tribunal ordered its cessation, its end in 2014, but illegal mines have continued. Though the Green Tribunal has banned, it banned way back in 2014, still it is going on. What is the reason behind? Because have continued due to a high local dependence on income from coal. It seems the local people depend on coal as a source of income. Fragmented ownership, another reason, and contractorships that spread accountability and patronage. These are the reasons, though they have banned, still people are doing that. Operators of illegal mines also underreport accidents and keep workers off formal records. And these operators who operate illegal mines, they underreport the accidents. That means what? Imagine 10 accidents, they report only one. Not only that, they keep the names of the workers off the records. They don't maintain the records properly. And while workers' deaths, an important word, tell me why is it important? Here we have a noun, plural noun ending in the letter S. Then we should use apostrophe after the letter S, not before the letter S. That you have to focus on. While workers' deaths hit the headlines, injuries due to polluted water, acid drains, unstable landscapes, and degraded roads, and child labor use do not. Death, it hits the headline, but other problems, they don't. It talks about the same thing. The second part of the editorial. Illegal coal is currently not easy to separate from legacy or auction coal. Here the writer says, distinguishes illegal coal, legal coal, or auction coal. Once this coal enters the market, not easy to distinguish, not easy to identify, not simple. Illegal coal is currently not easy to separate from legacy or auction coal once it has entered the supply chain. The moment it enters the supply chain, then not easy to find out illegal coal. But the expected cost of illegal extraction and transport needs to go up. Expected cost for what? One is extraction of coal, second one transportation. Writer says they have to go up. Then it becomes socially expensive. One of the solutions, it should become socially expensive. Then only a few take up. Meghalaya already has a framework to prevent illegal mining, transport, and storage under the MMDR Act. Legally, there is a provision. Already they have done it. Illegal mining has been, already a legal framework is there to prevent illegal mining. Using technology to reduce the cost of detection, it should add mandatory GPS tracking for all coal carriers, invalidate consignments that deviate from a specific route, and integrate satellite and drone patrol data with control rooms. All this talk about a solution. One thing, legal framework is there, and all these talk about solution, remedies. What are the remedies? Using technology to reduce the cost of detection. Yes, very good. Who is that? Vishnu. Cost, cost, cost. I usually give other verbs, cast, telecast, broadcast, forecast, hurt. They have the same forms. It should add mandatory GPS tracking. What is the meaning of mandatory? Compulsory. Another remedy. And invalidate consignments that deviate from a specific route, and integrate satellite and drone patrol data with control rooms. All solutions, remedies. Illegal mining should also become socially expensive. At the beginning of the editorial, a writer talks about socially expensive should become socially expensive, and governance also should play a role. That idea is being reiterated. Illegal mining should also become socially expensive, perhaps through community monitoring, incentivized by sharing penalties with local bodies. This is also a solution. They should make it expensive so that others don't try to take it up. And incentivized by sharing penalties with local bodies. Conversely, the state should pressure intermediaries with seizure, cancelled licenses, prosecution, and blacklisting from auctions. Some businesses, intermediaries play a vital role, and this sentence talks about solution focusing on intermediaries. The state should do what? Pressure these people, intermediaries, with seizing their whatever assets they have, cancel their licenses, prosecute, legally take action, and blacklist them so that they can't participate in the auction. Blacklisting from auctions. Next, Bans fail, sans alternatives. You ban something. Simply banning will not get the positive result. It may fail without alternatives. So, what does it mean? If you ban something, you don't provide an alternative, the ban will not work. For example, local people depend on mining, illegal mining. Government says we are banning illegal mining completely. Then all these local people who depend on illegal mining, they lose a livelihood and they suffer a lot. So we have to provide alternatives. Once you provide alternatives, then you ban something, it works. This talks about the same. Sans means without. Next, bans fail, sans without alternatives. So the state should displace illegal mining as an income source. Why do they depend on illegal mining? It's a source of income. They have to displace or replace. How? By setting up credit and market linkages for horticulture, construction, small manufacturing, and tourism, and refitting public works to absorb mining labor. One thing, they have to promote all these, providing credit and all. Second, once they ban illegal mining, the local workers, they lose their job. So they have to be taken and they should be provided. They should be absorb mining labor. Finally, the state must dismantle incentives on the supply side. Remove the incentives on the supply side. The February 5th blast shows that illegal mines continue to access an informal labor market. How do they extract this coal? Illegal mining, how do they do? They try to exploit the labor market, formal or informal. They have access to informal labor market. To this end, to deal with this problem, an important phrase you have to remember, the state may allow workers to testify in exchange for amnesty. Those who work at illegal mines, they have to testify so that the government provides pardon or amnesty, and aggressively pursue errant contractors, aggressively punish those contractors who deviate from the norms. It should also subvert, weaken, undermine the administrative tolerance or administrative lethargy for such contractors by rotating postings in hotspot districts and independently auditing permits, among others. Same officials at one place, there's a possibility the official may become corrupt. They keep changing different districts, they keep rotating, that can be reduced. Again, all these are remedies. Treating rat hole mining as an enforcement issue alone risks pursuing or pushing the practice further underground. How does the editorial end? If the government looks at this illegal mining as from one particular dimension, as what? Enforcement issue. It is not an enforcement issue, it's a social issue. Livelihoods are involved. Then what happens if they look at that as enforcement issue alone, risks pushing the practice further underground. Means they will try to do it illegally. They'll try to conceal, they'll try to hide. So government should not do that. They have to provide the alternatives. It ends on that note. Let us go to the questions based on this editorial. First, questions based on reading comprehension skill. Try to answer. Yes, auctions we use bidding and also further, farther. Further means in addition to. FAR, deals with distance. The editorial central argument is that illegal rat hole mining in Meghalaya persists mainly because persist means to exist for a long time. Not these. Governance failures cannot be replaced by judicial oversight, clearly mentioned in the passage or editorial. Sentence number or question number 2. According to the passage, what makes Meghalaya's illegal coal mining ecosystem distinct from other regions. Meghalaya's illegal coal mining is distinct. How is it distinct? Large public sector coal mines, no. Thick coal seems not correct. Private community land holdings and weak enforcement. Yes, you guys got it right. Second one also, not B. C is the answer. Rat hole mines are particularly prone to accidents primarily because these rat hole mines, illegal mines, they are prone to accidents. What are the reasons behind? In the editorial, two reasons have been mentioned. One is they don't have engineered roofs and they don't have protected side walls. Located, not correct. They lack what? Engineered safety structures, roofs and side walls. Yes, B is the answer. No, B is the answer. The continuation of illegal mining despite the 2014 NGT ban is attributed to all except. We can attribute to local economic dependence on coal. We can attribute to fragmented ownership and patronage. We can attribute to diffused accountability among contractors, but we cannot attribute that to strong monitoring by enforcement agencies. Editorial talks about weak enforcement, so we cannot attribute this one. Question like this, you got to be very careful. No, no, no. Only Sukesh has got it right, then I see Anil also. C is the answer. Question says what cannot be attributed. We cannot attribute this one because editorial talks about weak enforcement, not strong enforcement. Which of the following problems related to illegal mining receives comparatively less public attention as per the editorial? Whenever there are deaths, the deaths, say 5 or 6, the incident hits the headlines. But other problems like use of children, child labor, accidents, injuries, they are not taken seriously. Mentioned in the passage. Not fatal accidents causing death, they hit the headlines. Not environmental degradation. Incidents related to injuries and child labor, they don't hit the headlines. Yes, C is the answer. Now we have mini mocks. Error location. First two questions based on error location. Read carefully and try to get the answer. The budget allocations, despite ambitious announcements, has failed. While reading itself, you should know what the problem is. What is the subject here? The budget allocations. It's a noun phrase. Noun phrase, the last word is a key word. It is in the plural form. Despite ambitious announcement, a phrase don't consider. Now you check subject verb agreement. The budget allocation has wrong. What are we supposed to say? Have. Because the subject is plural. Good. Perfect. Sentence number 2. Error location related. Carbon capture technologies, though costly, remains imperative for emission intensive industries. Again, what is the subject here? Carbon capture technologies, the subject, plural. Though costly, a phrase don't consider. Sentence is in present tense, affirmative form. Subject is plural. We cannot add S or ES to the verb. Means what? Remains or remain? Good. Remain, not remains. We have a question based on filler. The government's climate intent is clear, but cautious have limited the pace of execution. Yesterday's editorial all about budget related to climate. Whenever we talk about budget, we talk about allocations. That is contextual awareness. Then it becomes easy. The government's climate intent is clear, but cautious allocations, not ambitions, not pilots, not sweets. Cautious allocations have limited the pace of execution. Budget, what is the word we use? Allocations, as simple as that. But context is important, do remember. India is still in a phase of CCUS deployment rather than full scale industrial adoption. Yesterday we got this. India is not interested to go for industrial expansion because it is this particular thing is complex and also capital intensive. They want to first experiment. For experimental thing, what is the word? Pilot. Embedded phase, not correct. Sustained phase, not correct. Pilot phase means what? Experimental phase. They want to try first, then they want to expand, scale up, industrial. C is the answer. I think you guys got it. Replace the underlined phrase. Industrial decarbonization is no longer only a climate necessity, something else. This is all about the Hindu editorial analysis and mini mocks. In this session, I cannot tell you, but I'll come up with a video how to prepare for bank exams, English section. Wait for 1 or 2 days. Next week, I'll try to do that. Then you get a clear picture. It is not something I can tell in 1 or 2 minutes. We got to spend some time. You guys have answered. Is an imperative beyond environmental concerns. Now, what is the other concern because of European Union? Trade related, business related, not simply climate related, but trade related, exports related. Good. Connector. The budget increases allocations for rooftop solar. Implementation challenges such as Discom corporation persist. Whenever you deal with connectors, first you read both the sentences, understand the relation between the two. The relation, what do they talk about? What do they express? Here something is positive, increases, and challenges, negative. They persist. Means a contrast. So which option, which connector goes with contrast? Not these three. So what is a contrasting connector? However, good, that is the answer. CCUS technologies are costly and complex. One statement. India's allocation reflects caution rather than rapid expansion. It is in a way, it expresses consequence of something. Here this technology is expensive and complex. Based on that, India wants to do something not large scale but experimental basis. So it talks about consequence. What is the answer? Consequently, because costly and complex, consequently, India's allocation reflects caution rather than rapid expansion. It is not similar, not contrasting, not. So what is the answer here? No. 7 answer is consequently. A is the answer. Who has got it right? Power Ranger. Only one student. Okay, no problem. Sometimes it happens. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Sunday, no editorial because the Hindu paper does not publish. I will see you guys on Monday with a new editorial. Thank you very much.